I'm Carolina and I'm part of the Curious Chickens. So the last 3 weeks we've spent working on an inspirational quote generator.
In a world devoid of inspiration, human life is at a crossroads, teetering between profound wisdom and an abyss of dull cliches. Speakers are left mouthing platitudes. Influencers are down to their last recycled quote. In this world, our souls, left hopeless, crave a spark of something new. But look, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. No, it's not an oncoming train this time. Introducing the Wisdom Weaver, an AI-powered inspirational quote generator crafted to generate quotes that inspire, quotes that restore the fire within our souls so that everybody is cheerful, even on Monday mornings. You can stop wasting your life on your phone, touch grass, and finally enjoy life. With a simple prompt, you can cheer up your friend and gain motivation to reach your goals. Wisdom Weaver, crafting tomorrow's inspiration today.
So this is our Curious Chickens team. We're a group of 6 members and we can all introduce ourselves now.
Hi, I'm Ronit. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm going into my sophomore year of high school and I enjoy training the model, connecting it to our website.
Hi, I'm Haarika. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I'm going into 11th grade and I enjoyed working on graphic design on the front end.
Hello, I'm Jayden. I'm from New York City. I'm going to my 12th grade and I enjoyed working on tuning the model's hyperparameters and working on the front end.
Hey, I'm Nyle. I'm from Carpinteria, California. I'm going into my junior year of high school, and I enjoyed working on the front end and training the model.
And I'm Carolina. I live in LA and I'm going into 10th grade next year. And I had fun experimenting with the back end and making the model the best it can be.
So this is our tech stack. These are all the applications we use throughout this project. On the front end, we use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap to create the website. On the back end, we use Python, Hugging Face, GPT Neo, PyTorch, and then Flask to connect those two. Other tools we used were the Google applications such as Docs, Slide, and Collab, and we also used Kaggle to get our data set.
So in order to fine-tune our model, we used the Kaggle inspirational quotes datasets, as Niall mentioned. So in this dataset, we have 1,744 different quotes, and for each of these quotes, there's an associated category that you can see right on the left side of the quotes. So these categories include love, hope, kindness, believe in yourself, and gratitude. And these quotes are distributed unequally. So some of these categories are much bigger than others. For example, love is much bigger than a random category such as listening. So what we found when we were testing our model was that our model tended to produce the best results when we're testing it based on one of these categories that have more quotes in them, as expected. The results tended to be much more relevant when we tested for love than for listening.
As my teammate Nile mentioned, we use GPT Neo as our model of choice. Simply put, GPT Neo is a spin-off of GPT-2 that performs better in terms of text generation rather than a Q&A style that you're used to with ChatGPT. We could have used other large language models like Palm or Llama, or even GPT-3 or GPT-4. But because of our requirements and our time and resource constraints, we went with GPT Neo. As you can see from this list, we had 4 different model variations that we trained and tested to see which one would work the best. As you can see by the bolded option, the model that was trained on 5 epochs at a learning rate of 1E-5 was the model that worked the best, and we used that for our final product. So the 5 epoch model, the times varied heavily. It was not linear. So for example, the 5 epoch model trained at 5 minutes, the 10 epoch model would train at 15 minutes, 50 epochs would train at 2.5 hours, and 90 epochs would train at 4 hours. We figured that, the more epochs we train the model on, the better it would train. But of course, it's a curve in the sense of the more epochs you train, the less training loss you'll get, but more validation loss you'll get. There's a certain point at which the model would perform best. And for us, that was at 5 epochs, which is a really small number. When we tested 5 epochs versus 90 epochs, for example, we initially figured that 90 epochs would be the way to go, especially since it took a while. So I guess it was I guess it was our thinking in the sense of if we spent so long training it, and if it's learning so much so many times, we figured it'd do really good. But it's funny because the exact opposite happened. The 90 epochs was straight gibberish, and that was not the best use of our time, but at least we tried. In terms of the other two models, the 50 epochs and 10 epochs, the 10 epoch model was way too slow for production, and the 50 epochs were inconsistent in the sense of some models would be coherent sentences and some of them would be straight gibberish.
So some possible use cases could be people who might generate a quote for a quick pick-me-up to make them feel better or to gain more insight on a topic. For professionals like influencers, public speakers, and authors to generate and use in places like their social media posts, speeches, and articles or blogs. Writers and students who can use it as a writing prompt for both their professional and personal work, and fitness or self-care apps who can use it to keep their users motivated. And then some possible expansions for the future could be to add more topics to train the model on, so it could create more broad quotes, to integrate social media sharing options, to showcase a quote of the day on the website, and multilingual support so it could understand inputs and give outputs in different languages.
All right, so to use the website, so here's a website with the Wisdom Weaver, which is the name of our product. And this website is hosted on Replit. So you can go to the generator. And then here's an input box where you can enter whatever topic you'd like in order to get a quote about that topic. So I input kindness and then get my quote. Usually it doesn't take this long, but so yeah. And then if you're not satisfied with the first quote it gives you, then you can always just keep trying until you're satisfied with the result. And that's about all. So thank you for listening to our presentation.